Hi, welcome to Camden Fairview Cardinal Baseball. We're coming to you from Hope, Arkansas. Camden Fairview Cardinals versus the Hope Bobcats. And leading off the game for the Cardinals, number one center fielder Zach Moorhead. And first pitch to Moorhead, high for ball one. And second pitch comes in as a strike to Moorhead. On the mound for the Bobcats, number 11, Israel Juarez. And the other half of your battery is Sam Johnson behind the plate for the Bobcats. Juarez kicks, delivers, Moorhead swings and hits this one high, short center field, shortstop out for the catch. Number one, Jaden Brown there for the catch and the first out of the inning for the Cardinals. Next up for the Cardinals, number 6 in, gets his sign from the Bobcat catcher. He kicks, fires that ball high and away. Juarez kicks, delivers, and that ball, off-speed pitch, finds its way into the strike zone. Evens the count at 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 out in the inning. Mariuzzi, the second batter of the game for the Cardinals. Juarez leaves that one outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Juarez looks in, he kicks and fires, and that ball outside. 3 balls, 1 strike to Mariuzzi. Dason Conley to follow Utzi. Peyton Schroeder after that. 3-1 pitch on the way from Juarez. And that ball outside, Mariuzzi is going to get the free trip down to first base. Dason Conley will be on the mound today for the Cardinals to start things off. He is in the 3-hole here for the Cardinals. And Conley steps in the box. Juarez kicks, delivers that ball inside. They're going to throw down to first base. And Mariuzzi back in time. Catcher Sam Johnson throws down. Mariuzzi back in time. And Juarez looks in and fires that ball in for a strike. Runs the count to 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 out in the inning. Mariuzzi on first base for the Cardinals. And here comes the pitch from Juarez. That one inside hits Conley on the outside of the left arm. And that puts Conley at first base, moves Mariuzzi down to second, and brings Peyton Schroeder to the plate. Courtesy runner for the pitcher looks like Quentin Browning. All right, Quentin Browning in. Courtesy running for the pitcher, Peyton Schroeder at the plate for the Cardinals. Mariuzzi on second. We got 1 out in the inning here. We're in the top of the first here in Hope. Juarez taking his time out there on the mound. And he is waiting, I guess waiting on the umpire, and they're ready to go now. Juarez kicks and delivers that pitch outside. A 1 ball, no strikes to Peyton Schroeder. Jack Jeffus would be next. Juarez looks in, he kicks and delivers that ball in for a strike. A 1 ball, 1 strike. We're in the top of the first inning. Cardinals with runners at first and second base. And Schroeder fouls out, and that takes the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Juarez looks in, and that pitch inside, it gets past the catcher and rolls to the backstop. Both runners will advance. Cardinals now with Mariuzzi at third, Quentin Browning over at second. Peyton Schroeder with a 2-2 count and 1 out here, top of the first inning. Juarez has his sign. They're not strike 3 and the second out of the inning. Number 3, the shortstop for the Cardinals. They have got to get better at is getting these guys across the plate when they got them there. Jeffers swings at the first pitch, hits it into foul territory, and not able to get to it. The first baseman went after it, not able to track it right. Base hit here will score at least 1 Cardinal run. Max Bradshaw would follow Jeffers. Here comes the kick and the delivery, and Jeffers swings at that one, hits it in the air, short on the dirt in the infield, and the first baseman over for the catch and the out. Cardinals are going to leave 2 stranded, none across, no hits, no errors. We're headed to the Bobcat half of the first inning, no score. All right, we're headed to the bottom half of the first inning. Leading it off for the Bobcats, Jaden Brown, the shortstop, wearing number 1. Battery for the Cardinals to start off will be Dason Conley on the mound. Drew Bostic behind the plate for the Cardinals. All right, Jaden Brown in the box. And here comes the windup, the delivery from Dason Conley. First pitch swinging, pops it up, and Max Bradshaw out into shallow right field, makes the catch. 1 pitch, 1 swing, 1 out. Austin Courtney now, the center fielder, coming to the plate for the Bobcats. Dason Conley has his sign. He kicks and delivers that pitch in for a strike. Nice fastball on the corner by Conley. And having a little problem with the pitch comm. Camden Fairview utilizes the pitch comm system here, and basically that's a radio from the dugout to the catcher's ear. It calls the pitch in, and then the catcher relays that to the pitcher. So we're fired up now. That pitch is a fastball in for a strike, and Austin Courtney in the hole, 0-2. All right, 0-2 pitch, and Conley shakes it off, and he's got what he wants now. He is going to kick and fire, and that is curveball high in the zone. All right, 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out here. We're in the bottom of the first inning. Austin Courtney at the plate for the Bobcats. That pitch in for a strike. Courtney watches strike 3, and he goes down for the second out of the inning. Going to bring the third baseman, number 9, Jack Johnson, to the plate. All right, Dason Conley is on the mound. He is ready to roll, and here comes the kick and the delivery, and that curveball stays inside. 1 ball, no strikes. 2 outs here. Number 3 hitter is Jack Johnson. Cardinals like to go 3 up, 3 down here. And that pitch is swung and hit into right field. Mariuzzi is giving chase, and he gets under it for the out. And indeed, the Cardinals see 3 batters, put 3 batters away. No hits, no runs, no errors, nobody left on, and we're headed to the top of the second inning. No score here from Hope. All right, leading off for the Cardinals here, top of the second inning, your second baseman, number 12, Max Bradshaw. Israel Juarez still on the bump for the Bobcats. And he has got the sign from his catcher, and that ball stays low in the zone. 1 ball, no strikes to Max Bradshaw. And the kick and delivery, that pitch is going to stay outside, and Max Bradshaw hit in the count, 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 pitch on the way from Juarez. That one finds the strike zone. 2 balls and 1 strike. Bradshaw, Betts, and Bostic. The Killer Bees on the way up. Here comes Bradshaw swinging at that pitch, hits it over to short, and Max is going to beat it out. Ball gets past the first baseman short, foul territory here at Hope. So the ball bounces off the fence. Max stays at first base, but he is in with a base hit. All right, Michael Betts at the plate for the Cardinals. Top of the second inning, no score. Cardinals with their leadoff batter of the inning at first base. And the pitch is in the strike zone at the knees to Michael Betts. No balls, 1 strike. And that pitch swung and missed, and Michael Betts in the hole, 0-2. All right, here comes the 0-2, and Betts watches that one outside. One and 2 count. Max Bradshaw at first for the Cardinals. No outs. We're in the top of the second inning. Bradshaw takes off. Michael Betts hits that one in between first and second base. A little dribbler, but he's going to be safe, and Max Bradshaw heads over to third. And that's going to put runners at the corners for the Cardinals and Drew Bostic to the plate. All right, the infield umpire talking with Israel Juarez. Sam Johnson out to give the sign of what they're going to do if Michael Betts tries to steal, and Drew Bostic stands in. Runners at the corners, no outs, top of the second inning. And runner is going, and Drew Bostic was taken all the way on that one. That pitch in for a strike. Michael Betts is down at second base, so it's up to Drew Bostic now to drive in a couple of Cardinal runs here. Here comes the pitch, and it is high and inside. Should be a 1-1 count. And the kick and the delivery, and Drew Bostic swings, fouls that one into the parking lot. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Runners at second and third base. Max Bradshaw over at third. Michael Betts stands at second. Brody Dow follows Drew Bostic in the order. Pitch to Bostic. He hits that one on the ground to third base. Going to drive in a run. And Drew at first base. And so Drew's going to get an RBI. They're going to discuss whether he was safe or not. Throw was made, and the first baseman dropped the ball. And the Hope coach is going to argue that it was on the transfer, and we'll see what the outcome of it is. Initially, Drew has been called safe. And now the two umpires are going to get together and talk about it. If he is safe, I believe that's going to be an E3 if they call him safe. So we'll see what happens. Nevertheless, the run counts, and Drew will get, and they are calling him safe. And we will have a courtesy runner for the catcher. All right, so Cardinals with a run across, and courtesy runner at first base for the catcher is going to be number 2, Ben McKinney. Again, Cardinals have runners at the corners, no outs. We're in the top of the second inning. All right, Brody Dow now at the plate, and Brody swings at that one, pops it up, and Ben McKinney was almost to second base, and Brody pops it up for the out. And McKinney makes it back to first. They don't double him up. So 1 out. Zach Moorhead back to the plate. Zach flew out to shortstop. Little pop fly there in the first inning, and that pitch in the dirt, and McKinney 1 out. 1 run across here in the top of the second inning. All right, Israel Juarez has his sign. He kicks, delivers that pitch. Curveball, and nice looking pitch. Started way outside, came back in, found the strike zone right at the numbers. And Zach Moorhead has 1 ball and 1 strike. And that pitch, again, that curveball, this time it stays outside. 2-1 count to Zach Moorhead. 1 out here. We're in the top of the second inning. Cardinals leading the ball game 1-0. The kick and the delivery, and he reaches down, gets that one, hits it into center field. That's going to score 1 run, and here comes the throw home. Ben McKinney slides in, and he is safe. So Zach Moorhead with a stand-up double and 2 RBIs. Now the Cardinals lead the game 3-0. Mariuzzi now coming to the plate, 1 out here in the top of the second inning. Zach Moorhead stands out at second base. Mariuzzi walked his first trip, and Mari hits this one deep to right field, and that ball is over the fence for a home run. Mari's 3rd home run of the year. That's going to be 2 RBIs there for Mariuzzi, and the Cardinals now lead it 5-0. All right, Dason Connolly to the plate now for Camden Fairview, and Cardinals in control here in the second inning. And Connolly was hit by a pitch, his first at bat, and that ball is that curve ball again. It starts outside or on Connolly from the right side, started inside on Connolly and falls down about the knees. Good looking pitch, but that's the one Mariuzzi just took over the fence in right field. He hung it out there for Mari, and he took advantage of it. That is it again, comes in over the helmet of Connolly and evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. And that pitch low. And not sure. Okay, 1 ball, 2 strikes. He did not check his swing. So Connolly 1 and 2. 1 out. Nobody on. Mariuzzi cleaned the bags off for the Cardinals with that home run. And that curveball, he gets in on top of it. Dason Connolly is not going to beat it out. Nice job trying to get there. He was close, but third baseman fields it and throws over for the second out of the inning. Peyton Schroeder to the plate now. Peyton playing first base today. He was a strikeout victim back in the first. If Peyton can get on, Jack Jeffers would follow. And that pitch outside. A 1 ball, no strikes. We've got 2 outs, top of the 5th inning. Cardinals ahead 5-0. The pitch to Schroeder in for a strike, evens the count at 1-1. 2 outs in the inning. Schroeder looking to keep it going here for the Cardinals. That pitch way outside, 2 balls, 1 strike. And that pitch in the dirt. 3-1 count now to Peyton Schroeder. Jack Jeffers waits on deck. Max Bradshaw would follow Jeffers. And the 3-1 pitch. And that ball is fouled off. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And Juarez toes the rubber and gets ready for the payoff pitch here in the top of the 2nd inning. Peyton Schroeder trying to keep it going for the Cardinals here in the top of the 2nd. And that pitch, swing and miss, and Schroeder strikes out for the 3rd out of the inning, but not before the Cardinals get 4 hits, 4 runs. They leave nobody on base, and we're going to the bottom of the 2nd inning. Cardinals leading it 5-0. All right, bottom of the 2nd inning to lead it off for the Bobcats, their catcher, number 8, Sam Johnson. We're in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Cardinals lead the game 5-0. And first pitch, high and tight on the chin to Sam Johnson. 1 ball, no strikes. Cardinals got 5 runs across in the 2nd. I said 4, but it was 5 runs. And that pitch in for a strike, fastball, catches that outside corner of the plate. A 1-1. And curveball stays high and tight. And 2 balls, 1 strike to Johnson. Conley delivers that one for a strike. Evens the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Finds the outside corner of the plate again on that fastball. Johnson, the leadoff batter for the Hope Bobcats here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. 2-2 pitch on the way. And Johnson hits that one. It's going to be in the gap up the middle. And Johnson's going to be on with a single to lead off the 2nd inning for the Bobcats. Israel Juarez, the pitcher, now to the plate. Bobcats trying to do a little damage of their own here in the second inning. They've got their leadoff man down at first base, and their pitcher at the plate now, Israel Juarez. First pitch to Juarez was a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Johnson, a little bit of a lead over there at first. And that pitch in for a strike. Count is 1 ball, 1 strike to Juarez. Trey Hoagland to follow Juarez waits on deck. And that pitch in the dirt, swings and misses at the pitch and runs the count to 1 ball, 2 strikes. Catcher does a good job to keep it out in front. Juarez with 2 on him here. Looking for the strike there. Didn't get it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Drew tried to frame it in there for Dason, just didn't quite work. 2-2 count. No outs here, bottom of the second inning. Conley peering over his shoulder. He's going to deliver. Runner is going and throw in time, but a little high. And Sam Johnson has second base on the steal and the strikeout of Juarez. Tried to get a strike him out, throw him out, got half of it. And that brings Trey Hoagland to the plate for the Bobcats. Jack Jeffers playing tight to the bag, not holding him on. He's going to creep back to his spot. That pitch missed inside. A 1 ball, no strike count to Trey Hoagland. Dason Conley giving a long look over there to second base. And he's going to pitch. Hoagland swings through that one and runs the count to 1 ball and 1 strike. Time called. And Peyton Schroeder going to go over to the mound and talk with Dason Conley. They got it worked out, and Schroeder back to his position. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here. We're in the bottom of the second inning. Bobcats have a runner at second base. Pitch is swung through and missed, and that runs the count to 1 ball, 2 strikes. All right, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Trey Hoagland at the plate, and the runner's going, and they're going to throw. And Conley balked on the throw over to third base. He had already come set and didn't step off. And Sam Johnson's going to have third base on the balk. 1 out in the inning. You've got 1 ball, 2 strikes to the batter, Trey Hoagland, and Bobcats have a run 90 feet away. That pitch is fouled back by Hoagland into fair park. Count remains 1-2. One out. We're in the bottom of the second. Cardinals lead at 5-0. And that pitch up high. Count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. All right, Dason Conley shakes off the first one. He got what he wants on the second one, and that pitch down in the dirt and runs the count to 3-2 now. All right, payoff pitch now to Trey Hoagland. And Dason Conley likes what he sees. He is going to spin, kick, and the delivery, and that one fouled off over again into Fair Park behind home plate. Count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes to Trey Hoagland. All right, here comes the 3-2 pitch again from Dason Conley. And swings and misses, and he strikes out for out number 2 in the inning. The DH, number 12, Caden Haywood, now to the plate for Hope. 2 outs, bottom of the second inning. Cardinals leading 5-0. Bobcats with a runner at third base. First pitch to Haywood is a little outside. He's got his sign. Not holding the runner on at third. Michael Betts retreats back, and that pitch a little high, and 2-0 count to the DH, Caden Haywood. Cardinals trying to get this final out of the inning without Johnson coming across, and that pitch is fouled back into the screen. 2 balls and 1 strike. Two-one pitch. Kick and the delivery. Conley brings it home, and that pitch is high. Runs the count even to 2-2. I'm sorry. Count is 3 balls and 1 strike. And that pitch in, count now 3 balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs, bottom of the second inning. 5-0 lead. And that is hit back to, little blooper hit back to Dason Conley. He fields it, underhands it over to Peyton Schroeder at first for the third out of the inning. And the Cardinals are going to get out of that inning. Bobcats leave 1 aboard. They get nobody across, no runs, no errors, and 1 hit. We are headed to the top of the third. Cardinals lead at 5-0. All right, Jack Jeffers leading it off for the Cardinals here, top of the third inning. Cardinals leading at 5-0. Jack flew out over to first base. His first trip to the plate. That pitch low for ball 1. Cardinals leading it early here, 5-0. We're in the top of the third inning. Jeffers Bradshaw and Betts due up. Drew Bostic would be 4th in the inning. 2 balls, no strikes to Jeffus. And Jack fouls that one over to third base. Third baseman fields it and chunks it over in the Cardinal dugout. 2-1 count to Jack Jeffus. Jeffus trying to get something going here for the Cardinals, and he does. He hits that one into left field for a leadoff base hit here in the top of the third inning, and the Cardinals are aboard here to start the third. All right, brings Max Bradshaw to the plate. He singled his first trip to the plate. And Max squares to bunt and bunts it foul over towards the first base dugout for strike one. Max trying to push Jeffus on over to second base into scoring position, and Max can run, so it'd be a nice thought there. That pitch inside, and the count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. All right, Bradshaw back in the box. Juarez has his sign. He kicks, delivers, and that ball outside. Bradshaw really wanted to swing at it, but he laid off, runs the count to 2 balls and 1 strike. And going to throw over, check Jeffus at first base. Jeffus back in plenty of time. We're in the top of the third, 5-0 Cardinals here, coming at you from Hope, Arkansas. Jeffus with the lead, and he's running, and that pitch in for a strike, and the throw down not in time, and Jeffus steals second base. 2 ball, 2 strike count, though, to Max Bradshaw, and Max trying to get on base here. Cardinals in control early. Max Bradshaw hits that one to right field. Diving catch by the right fielder. Nice job there by the right fielder for the Bobcats, Aiden Dean. He slid down and caught that ball at the ground, and Max Bradshaw flies out for the first out of the inning. Michael Betts now to the plate. He singled his first at bat. And that pitch outside. One ball, no strikes. And Juarez going to step off, and Jeff is going to scamper back over there to second base. Middle infield for the Bobcats, swapping spots there. One of them will charge, and Jeffus goes to third, and he is going to be in standing up at third base. So Jeffus steals second and third. Cardinals with a runner at third now. 1 out in the inning. Michael Betts with a 1-1 count. Base hit here. And that pitch in for a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. All right. 1 ball, 2 strike pitch on the way to Michael Betts. That one is outside. Runs the count to 2-2 now. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Cardinals with a runner at third base. They lead the game here in the top of the third, 5-0. Threatening again with Jack Jeffus at third. And that pitch Michael Betts lays off of. That one looked good. to Michael. It was low, hard to lay off of. It was that curveball hung out over the plate, but it was low. Michael laid off of it. Count now 3 balls, 2 strikes. Michael just wants to put it in play, bring Jack Jeffers to home plate, and fouls that one off. Count remains 3-2. All right, 3-2 count. Payoff pitch from Israel Juarez is on the way. Jack Jeffers started home. He holds up. Michael Betts takes the walk on ball 4 down to first base. And that puts, again, runners at the corners for the Cardinals. And the Hope Bobcat coach going to take a trip out to the mound to talk with his pitcher. Infield coming in. So we're going to step away here as they discuss some strategy here from Hope. Cardinals are leading. All right, Cardinals with runners at the corners here. Drew Bostic comes to the plate. 5-0 here in the top of the third. 1 out. There are runners at the corners. Drew's last at bat. He moved him over, got an RBI, and that pitch in the dirt. Drew called for time, didn't get it. Pitcher took a while to start his delivery. Didn't matter. 1 ball, no strikes. Now runners now at second and third. And Drew fouls that one off on top of the cage over there, the batting cage. Count is 1 ball, 1 strike. And that ball behind Drew. 2 balls, 1 strike now to the catcher, Drew Bostic. And that pitch is low. Count now 3 balls and 1 strike. All right, 3-1. Hitters count here to Drew Bostic, and he hits that one hard. It's going to be a ground ball to second base. Second baseman lets it go between his legs, and Drew gets 2 RBIs on that one. He is going to go down to second base on the throw to home. So 2 more RBIs for Drew Bostic on the play. All right, Bobcats are going to have a new pitcher. We're going to step away here just for a minute while he warms up. We are in the top of the third inning. We've got 1 out. Cardinals now lead it 7-0. All right, new battery for the Hope Bobcats. Sam Johnson now. And Jack Johnson behind the plate. And Brody Dow at the plate for the Cardinals. First pitch is high in the zone. 1 ball, no strikes. Cardinals up 7-0 here, top of the third inning. Brody Dow popped up in the first inning. And that pitch high and in on the chin. 2-0 count now to Brody Dow. Time called by the infield umpire and pitcher. All right, not sure what the umpire and the pitcher were talking about, but they're ready to go now. 2-0 count to Brody Dow. And that one in, 4-strike fastball. Clipped the corner there on the outside. Count is 2-1. And runners going and throw down to third base. Not in time. Israel Juarez over now at third base for the Bobcats. All right, Cardinals now with a runner at third. Courtesy runner for the catcher, Drew Bostic. And Brody Dow pops up again over on the left-hand side of the field. Third baseman runs in on the grass, makes the catch, and there are 2 down now in the inning. Zach Moorhead rolls back around for the Cardinals. He's flied out and doubled 2 RBIs back in the second inning. Ben McKinney at third, courtesy running for Drew Bostic. That pitch outside. And the count to Zach Moorhead, 1 ball, no strikes. 2 outs here. We're in the top of the third inning. Cardinals have got 2 across in this frame. 7-0 is your score. And that pitch in for a strike. 1-1 count. A 1-1 pitch coming to Zach Moorhead. That one's outside. All right, Zach Moorhead back in the box. He digs in. The 2-1 pitch from Sam Johnson is on the way, and it is outside. And the count now to Zach Moorhead, 3-1. Mariuzzi. Johnson has what he's looking for. He kicks, delivers, and that one's outside. And Zach Moorhead's going to get the free trip down, and that puts runners again at the corners for the Cardinals. Mariuzzi, he walked back in the first, hit a 2-run homer there in the second. All right, Mariuzzi stands in for the Cardinals. They're up 7-0. Runners at the corner. Zach Moorhead with a big lead. They're going to creep in. Zach's going to run. That ball's in for a strike. Mari was taken all the way. Zach stands up at second. No throw down to the plate. He goes down uncontested. Cardinals now with runners at second and third. Mariuzzi at the plate. 2 outs. That pitch outside again. And 2-1, or 1-1, I'm sorry, is your count. Dason Conley on deck for the Cardinals. And Mariuzzi hits that one hard through the infield out into right center field. That's going to score Ben McKinney, and that's going to score Zach Moorhead. Mariuzzi with a 2 RBI single. Dason Conley now grounded out over to third base. And he's been hit by a pitch. Mariuzzi at first base. And that pitch on the inside corner at the knees. And 0-1 count. Cardinals now lead at 9-0 here in the top of the third inning. And Dason swings at that one and pops it up. It's in shallow, well, on the infield, way up in there. Catch made there by the second baseman for the third out of the inning. But the Cardinals, they're going to get well, I'm looking at the wrong game, guys. All right, Cardinals get 1, 2, 3 hits in the inning, score a couple of runs, leave a couple on base, and we're headed to the bottom of the third. Cardinals lead at 9-0. All right, Riley Bramlett to lead it off for the Hope Bobcats here in the bottom of the third. That pitch from Dason Conley comes in a little high. Cardinals scored 4 runs on 3 hits in the top of the third. They lead it 9-0 now. We're in the bottom of the third inning. That pitch to Riley Bramlett in for a strike evens the count at 1-1. And Riley hits that one into center field. It's going to get down for a base hit. And the Bobcats have their leadoff man in the inning on base for Aiden Dean. And again, home plate umpire going to go up. He is going to clean the rubber off there on the mound. First time I think I've seen him brush the rubber off at the mound. Guess he was having a hard time seeing if he was towing it. And Conley going to check Riley Bramlett over at first. He's back in plenty of time. Bramlett looks like he wants to go to second base, and he holds up. That pitch fouled back into fair part, runs the count to no balls and one strike. No outs. We're in the bottom of the third inning. The Bobcats have their leadoff man of the inning at first base. Cardinals leading at 9-0 now. Aiden Dean at the plate fouls that one back. And he's in the hole 0-2. All right. Here comes the pitch, and it's high and inside. Fastball had some stuff behind it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Aiden Dean, your batter. Cardinals leading at 9-0. Bottom of the third, no outs. Bobcats with a runner at first base. And he swings at that one, fouls it. Out of play over on the right side. Count remains 1-2. All right, Aiden Dean with a 1-2 count on him. Here comes the delivery from Dason Conley, and that ball fouled again into fair part. Hope Bobcats just leaving a man out behind the plate there to get all the foul balls. We've sent several of them back there. 1-2 count, no outs. Bottom of the third. Aiden Dean, your batter. And the pitch is hit into center field, fly ball. And that ball is off the glove of Zach Moorhead. And puts runners now at first and second. Jaquel Muldrow now, your batter. Jaden Brown, I'm sorry. Jaden Brown is your batter. Jaden Brown flew out to right field back in the first inning. He is the leadoff man for the Bobcats. They've got runners now at first and second, no outs. Big hop and time called by Brown. Big hop out there at second base by Riley Bramlett and gets the attention of Dason Conley. Jaden Brown says, "You're taking too long. Give me a timeout." Back in the box now. That pitch just a little high above the letters. Count is 1-1. And that pitch misses inside just a little. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's your count. Bobcats trying to get something going here. They're in the bottom half of the third inning. They're trailing the Cardinals 9-0. And big swing by Brown, and Drew Bostic throws out Riley Bramlett, stealing third base. Jaden Brown, big swing through that one for strike 2. Lost his helmet. Drew Bostic threw down to third and knocks Riley Bramlett off the base pad. All right, so 1 out in the inning now. Runner at first base for the Bobcats. Jaden Brown with a 2-2 count. And he hits that one hard. Michael Betts fields it over to second, fielded for the out, and not quite in time to first. Nice job by the Cardinals. They were close to turning two. Long way, kind of deep in the hole there from Michael Betts, but he did a great job, fielded it, got it over to Max Bradshaw at second. Max made the turn. Just Jaden Brown there was a speedster, beat it out at first base. So nice job by the Cardinals. 2 outs now in the inning, and Austin Courtney to the plate. Jaden Brown at first base. Austin Courtney struck out his first trip to the plate. Pitch is high, and ball one to Austin Courtney. Jack Johnson would follow Austin Courtney if he can get on here in the bottom of the third inning. And Dason Conley, nice pitch, fouled off the tip of the bat to the backstop. Count now 1-1 to Austin Courtney. All right, runners going, and Drew Bostic was pulling out. Drew Bostic pulling out to throw down, just didn't catch the baseball, and count now 2 balls, 1 strike. Debo. All right, 2-1 count, 2 outs. Runner is now at second base, Jaden Brown. And that pitch outside runs the count 3 balls and 1 strike to Austin Courtney. Brown took off. Drew started to pull out to throw, and he forgot he had to catch the ball first. Umpire stopped it for him. That pitch in the strike zone, and the count now is full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Austin Courtney thought it was a little high, and he was about to sling the bat over to the dugout. 3-2, 2 outs. Here it comes, and that ball is fouled down the first baseline. Courtney stays alive to do it again. That one hurt his hands. That was off the handle and rattled those hands a little bit. Count remains 3-2, 2 outs. Cardinals ahead here in the bottom of the third, 9-0. Bobcats with a runner at second base. Payoff pitch is on the way and hit up in the air behind home place, hit the Cardinal school bus back there. Count remains 3-2. Glad it hit the bus. My truck is parked right on the other side of it. All right, 3-2 count, 2 outs. And that one is hit into left center field. Zach Moorhead under it, makes the catch for the third out of the inning. They get 1 hit, 1 error, no runs, nobody, well, 1 left aboard, 1 thrown out there at third. So we're going to the top of the fourth. Cardinals leading it 4-0 over the Hope Bob. Okay, Peyton Schroeder leading it off for the Cardinals here in the top of the fourth inning. Cardinals leading it 9-0 over the Hope Bobcats. And Peyton swings at the first pitch, and that one by the second baseman into right field. And Peyton Schroeder leads it off for the Cardinals with a single here in the top of the fourth inning. Jack Jeffers to the plate now for the Cardinals. He flied out and singled to right field in the ball game. And that pitch in for a strike. Fastball catches outside of the plate. All right. No balls, one strike. Jeffers squares the bunt and doesn't pull it back. 0-2 is the count now on Jack Jeffers. Peyton Schroeder stands at first, and Jack swings at that one, fouls it off over the first base dugout. Count remains 0-2.
Stay on top of it. Stay level.
All right, 0-2 count. Jeffers digs in. Here comes the pitch, and that one's high. He lays off of it. 1-2 now the count to Jack Jeffers. We're in the top of the fourth inning. Cardinals leading at 9-0 over the Hope Bobcats. A 1-2 count to Jack Jeffers, Peyton Schroeder at first base. Here comes the pitch, and Jack swings at that pitch and strikes out for the first out of the fourth inning. Max Bradshaw, your batter now for the Cardinals. He is singled and flew out to right field. He's trying to move Peyton Schroeder over. That pitch in for a strike. Cardinals like to score a couple of more runs here in the top of the fourth. Here comes the pitch, and it stays high. 1-1 is the count now to Max Bradshaw. Michael Betts follows Bradshaw, followed by Drew Bostic. And that pitch in for a strike. All right, 1 ball, 2 strikes is the count. Austin May not happy with the strike call there on Max Bradshaw. Lets the umpire know about it. Infield umpire comes across, warns Austin May on the call. And Max Bradshaw back in the box. A 1 ball, 2 strike count. Cardinals with Peyton Schroeder over at first base. And that pitch low runs the count even to 2-2. Top of the fourth inning, Cardinals leading 9-0 over the Hope Bobcats. Peyton Schroeder with a lead at first base. Max Bradshaw at the plate. He swings at that one, hits it high in the air, and caught by the center fielder for out number 2. Peyton Schroeder back safe at first, and that's going to bring Michael Betts to the plate. Michael is singled and reached on a walk here in the ballgame. Johnson has his sign. He fires that one in for a strike. Michael Betts at the plate, looking to keep it going for the Cardinals here, and he hits that one opposite field. That's going to be a base hit to right field. Peyton Schroeder makes the turn, and he is going to go to third. Michael Betts holds up at first base, and runners at the corners again for the Cardinals. Drew Bostic comes to the plate. He is had a single his last trip, scored 2 runs for the Cardinals on the single. Cardinals have had runners at the corners 3 or 4 times here in the game, and tonight they have been able to produce some runs, swinging the bat, getting these guys on base, and getting them across home plate. Runner is going, and that ball hits Drew Bostic in the back of the head, and Drew Bostic hit by pitch. He is okay. He is going to stand at first base. They're going to get a courtesy runner for the catcher. The ball hit the back of his helmet, but it kind of hit half the helmet and half the uh, kind of the bottom of his head there. It was a curveball, not much on it. Drew's going to be all right. He's heading to the dugout. Ben McKinney going to courtesy run for Drew. Hard. All right, Cardinals with the bases loaded now for Brody Dow. And first pitch is in for a strike. And Brody Dow in the hole now, 0-2. 2 outs in the inning. Cardinals with the bases loaded. And need to score a couple of these runs here. You can't give up the opportunity to put somebody across when you got the bags loaded. That pitch high, Brody lays off of it. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of the 4th inning. Cardinals are leading it 9-0. And fouls that one off into the catcher's mitt for out number 3. Cardinals get a couple of hits. They leave the bags loaded, no runs, no errors, and we're headed to the bottom of the 4th inning. Cardinals are leading at 9-0. All right, Sam Johnson to lead it off for, no, I'm sorry, Jack Johnson to lead it off for Hope here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Dyson Conley still on the mound for the Cardinals. First pitch in for strike one. Cardinals lead it 9-0 here in the bottom of the fourth. Conley kicks, delivers, and he swings through that one for strike two. And Jack Johnson in the hole, 0-2. All right, Dyson Conley winds up, kicks for the 0-2 pitch, and he swings at that one, fouls it into the glove, but Drew couldn't hold on to it, and the count remains no balls and 2 strikes. And that pitch outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes to Jack Johnson. Bottom of the fourth inning, Cardinals ahead here 9-0. And swings through that one for strike 3 and the first out of the inning. Sam Johnson up now for Hope. He singled up the middle, stole a base back in the second inning. And Dyson Conley, with the pitch he wants, he is going to kick and deliver. And big swing for strike 1. Dyson Conley, 4 strikeouts on the night. He is nice job by Peyton Schroeder. Peyton Schroeder ranged way over off of first base, snagged that single. Dyson Conley was covering from the pitcher's mound. Just a nice play by the Cardinals to get that out there. And right there, the Cardinals put 2 down. And Israel Juarez up for Hope. Juarez has moved over to third base, started off the night on the mound. And he fouls that one into the glove of the catcher for strike 1. Whereas strikeout victim his only trip to the plate this evening. And that pitch outside runs the count to 1-1. Johnson hit that last ball off the end of the bat, kind of hot over towards first base. In between first and second, Schroeder ranged over nicely, made the play. Good job by Dyson Conley to cover. Good looking play for high school kids here. 2 balls, 1 strike is the count to Juarez. 2 outs here. Bottom of the fourth inning, Cardinals up 9-0. Here comes the 2-1 pitch from Dyson Conley. And that one's hit opposite field. It's going to be out of play. And Mariuzzi ranging way over from right field. Going to go ahead and get the ball back in to the field. Count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs. We're in the bottom of the fourth inning. All right, we're ready to go again. Dyson Conley has got his sign. He is going to wheel, kick, and deliver the 2-2 pitch. And swings through it and misses for strike number 3 and the final out of the inning. 3 strikeouts for Dyson Conley in that inning. 1, 2, 3. Cardinals are headed to the top of the 5th inning. They're up 9-0 over the Hope Bobcats. All right, Zach Moorhead's going to lead it off for the Cardinals here in the top of the fifth inning. They lead it 9-0. First pitch off the plate. 1 ball, no strikes to Zach Moorhead. Zach Moorhead, Mariuzzi, Dason Conley due up in the inning. And that pitch on the outside corner runs the count to 1-1. Sam Johnson on the mound for the Bobcats. And that pitch, curveball, clips the outside corner of the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Johnson kicks, delivers. Zach hits that one off the tip of the bat. That's going to be a ground ball base hit over into left field. And Cardinals again with their leadoff man on base to start the inning. Mariuzzi, he is hit a 2-run homer, singled, scored 2 runs on that one, and reached on base on ball here in the game. And that curveball stays out and away for ball 1. Zach Moorhead over at first base for the Cardinals. We're in the top of the 5th inning. Cardinals leading at 9-0. And that pitch finds the strike zone. A 1-1 count to Mariuzzi. No outs. Zach Moorhead with a lead over on first base. Johnson going to peer over his shoulder at him. He comes set and going to deliver the baseball outside. And the count is 2 balls and 1 strike to Mariuzzi. And pitcher is set. He is going to kick and deliver. And Mariuzzi hits that one high in the air to right field. Right fielder is under it for the catch. And out number 1, Zach Moorhead back to first base. Dason Conley now to the plate. All right. And going to throw back over, check Moorhead at first base. He's back in plenty of time. Johnson kicks, delivers. Zach Moorhead running. The hit and run was on. That ball is going to go through the infield. Zach Moorhead is going to hold up at third base. Dason Conley with another ground ball hit, base hit for the Cardinals in the inning. Again, Cardinals with runners at the corners. Quentin Browning going to come in and courtesy run for the pitcher. Peyton Schroeder to the plate for the Cardinals. Peyton, ground ball single into right field. Back in the 4th inning. And first pitch to Schroeder in for strike 1. And Quentin Browning, a delayed steal there. No throw down by the catcher. He goes down uncontested. And Schroeder with a no ball, 1 strike count. 1 out here, top of the 5th inning. Cardinals leading it 9-0. That pitch high in the zone. Jack Johnson doing the catching now. He reaches up, keeps that ball in play. 1-1 count to Schroeder. That ball in the dirt. He keeps that one in front of him. And runners stay put. Ball bounces out in front of the plate. 2-1 count to Peyton Schroeder. 1 out. Top of the 5th inning. Cardinals leading at 9-0. Zach Moorhead breaks for home and stops back to the base. 3-1 count now to Peyton Schroeder. 1 out in the inning. Quentin Browning down at second base. Pinch running for Dason Conley. And Schroeder hits that one foul. Out of play over off the left field side of the ballpark. Count is full now at 3-2. All right. Peyton Schroeder in the box. Payoff pitch from Sam Johnson on the way. And that ball's in the dirt. And that's going to load the bases for Jack Jeffus here in the top of the 5th. Jack Jeffus 1 for 3 on the night. One for 2 on the night. First pitch to Jack outside, ball 1. All right, Cardinals ended the last half of the 4th inning with the bases loaded. They've got them loaded again. And Jack Jeffus hits this one high in the air. And Zach Moorhead with a error running home. And Cardinals, Jack Jeffus pops it up. Zach Moorhead gets doubled up at third, and they're going to leave the bases loaded. They had 2 hits, no runs, and we're headed to the bottom of the 5th inning. Cardinals up 9-0. All right, Trey Hoagland deleted all 4 of the Bobcats here, bottom of the 5th inning. They trail the Cardinals 9-0 here from Hope. That pitch from Dason Conley, high and inside for ball 1 to Trey Hoagland. Hoagland, a strikeout victim, back in the 2nd inning. He is trying to get something going here for the Bobcats in the bottom of the 5th. And that pitch fouled off into the mask of the catcher. He's been hit in the front of the face and the back of the head. A 1-1 count to Trey Hoagland. Dason Conley kicks, delivers, and swings through that one for strike 2. Swings and fouls that one back. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes to Trey Hoagland. Shadow over home plate trying to lighten the camera up for you just a little bit here. Dyson Conley kicks, delivers that ball in for strike 3, and Hoagland goes down on strikes. DH Caden Haywood to the plate. He hits into a 1-3 ground out back in the second inning. Little dinker back up to Dyson Conley. He underhanded it over to first. And first pitch to Haywood in down the pipe. No balls and 1 strike. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. Cardinals leading 9-0. And that pitch from Conley down the pipe again, and Haywood behind in the count, 0-2. All right, Dyson shakes off the first one. He likes what he's got now. Kicks, delivers, comes right back at him with a fastball, and he fouls that one up and out of play. Count remains no balls and 2 strikes here in the bottom of the 5th inning, 1 away. Camden Fairview leads Hope 9-0. Conley kicks, delivers, and Haywood thought about swinging. That ball stayed high in the zone, and we'll count now 1-2. And that ball outside evens the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two count. Here comes the pitch from Dyson Conley. And in for a strike, and 2 batters in a row. Watch the 3rd strike go by. That's 2 down in the inning, and Riley Bramlett to the plate for the Hope Bobcats. Riley had a single into center field and got thrown out at 3rd base in the inning by the catcher, Drew Bostic. So Riley Bramlett back to the plate for the Bobcats. He swings at the first pitch, fouls that one out into Fair Park. No balls, 1 strike. Bottom of the 5th inning here. Cardinals leading at 9-0. 2 outs in the Bobcat half of the inning. Dyson Conley kicks, delivers, and swings through that one. 0-2 count now to Riley Bramlett. All right, Dyson Conley kicks and delivers, and that ball outside. 1-2 count to Riley Bramlett. All right, here comes the pitch from Dyson Conley. Fouled that one to the backstop. He is staying alive up there at the plate with a 1-2 count. All right, here comes the pitch from Dyson Conley to Riley Bramlett. Hits Bramlett in the helmet. That ball bounces off the helmet into the bleachers. And the Bobcats get 1 aboard. On the hit by pitch brings Aiden Dean to the plate for the Bobcats. He reached on an error back in the 3rd inning. 2 away. We're in the bottom of the 5th. Cardinals leading at 9-0. Bobcats with 2 outs. And Dyson Conley going to throw over to first base. Check Bramlett on the bag. He is back in time. All right, Dason with the pitch he wants. He's going to kick, deliver. That pitch swung through and missed. Batter pulled off. Missed it. And the count is no balls and one strike to Aiden Dean. And that pitch inside goes to the backstop. He swung and missed on it. And Aiden Dean in the hole 0-2. Riley Bramlett stays put at first base. All right, Dason Conley got the pitch he wants. He is going to kick and deliver and swung through and missed. And 3 up, 3 down. No, I'm sorry. 2 up, 1 hit by pitch, 2 strikeouts, a hit by pitch, and then Aiden Dean goes down on strike. So 3 strikeouts in the inning, no hits, 1 left aboard, no runs. We're headed to the top of the 6th inning. Cardinals lead 9-0. All right, Max Bradshaw leading it off for the Cardinals here, top of the 6th inning. First pitch to Bradshaw, outside in the dirt to the backstop, ball 1. Killer Bees due up in the inning for the Cardinals. Max Bradshaw, Michael Betts, Drew Bostic. We're in the top of the 6th inning. Cardinals leading it here at Hope 9-0. And that pitch low in the zone. Max ahead in the count 2-0. And Max swings, hits that one to right field. That's going to be just foul. That ball hit the fence out there in right field, but it was on the wrong side of the foul pole. Just a long strike. 2 balls and 1 strike now to Max Bradshaw. He straightens that one out. That's extra bases. He had a lot of room out there in right field. 2 balls, 1 strike. Max Bradshaw, the leadoff hitter for the Cardinals here, top of the 6th inning. Cardinals leading it 9-0. Pitch on the way outside. 3-1 count now to Max Bradshaw. Hitters count for Max Bradshaw. Got to be right on the money. Max's pitch. And that one's in the dirt. Max Bradshaw with the free trip down to first base, and the leadoff man for the Cardinals on here in the top of the 6th inning. Michael Betts coming to the plate, and timeout on the field. Hope coach headed to the mound, and we're going to have a pitching change here in the top of the 6th inning. All right, new battery for the Bobcats. Riley Bramlett on the mound. Sam Johnson back behind the plate. First pitch to Michael Betts, in for a strike. Throw down to first base. Max Bradshaw back in plenty of time. Top of the sixth inning, Cardinals lead it 9-0. Max Bradshaw on first base. Michael Betts at the plate. That pitch up in the zone. 2 balls, no strikes. And Bramlett comes set, kicks and delivers, and that pitch again high in the zone. Again, Johnson throws down to first base from behind the plate. Max Bradshaw back in plenty of time. 3-0 the count to Michael Betts. My guess is Michael is taking all the way here. Gonna make Bramlett throw him a strike before he swings at anything. And that one high in the zone, and that is... All right, a little confusion. Thought that was ball 4. There was a strike in there somewhere. 3-1 to count. Max Bradshaw down to second base, uncontested. That pitch outside, and that is ball 4. Runners at first and second for Drew Bostic. Drew hit in the back of the head and the helmet there on his last at bat. Three RBIs on the night for Drew. Trying to get a couple more here for the Cardinals. And big cut at a high pitch that he never should have swung at. But those are hard to lay off of. 0-1 to Drew Bostic. That pitch outside evens the count. 1 ball, 1 strike. Top of the sixth inning, Cardinals lead at 9-0. Runners at first and second now, no outs. And Drew Bostic hits that one into right field, and that's going to score 1 run. Michael Betts is going to stand up at first base. Drew Bostic with an RBI single. Courtesy runner for the catcher, Ben McKinney out there. He steals second base. Your hitter now, Brody Dow. That pitch outside. Nice job by the catcher to backhand it, keep it in front of him, and saves a run there for the Bobcats. Brody Dow looks at that one. That ball started inside like it was going to hit him. Curved inside a little, still not into the strike zone, and Brody Dow ahead in the count 3-0. Runners at second and third for the Cardinals. They're up 10-0 here in the top of the sixth inning. And that pitch outside too. center pickle here. Michael Betts is safe at home plate. The pitch, the ball to the catcher, and he dropped it. Michael Betts slides in head first. Cardinals could have got in a mess there, and they get out of it with a run. Still no outs. Runners now at second and third. Brody Dow at second base. Ben McKinney over at second, and Zach Moorhead coming to the plate for the Cardinals. Cardinals lead it now 11-0. Brody Dow with the base on ball moves over to second base on the pickle here, and Cardinals get out of it with a run, and that pitch way outside, going to hit the backstop. Runner stays put at third base. 1 ball, no strikes to Zach Moorhead here in the top of the 6th inning when the Cardinals ahead 11-0. And that pitch inside, Bremlett just having a hard time finding the strike zone here. And that pitch hits Zach Moorhead in the leg or in the hip, and that's going to load the bases for Mari Utsi. And time called and a trip to the mound for the Hope coach. And we're going to have another pitching change here for the Bobcats in the top of the 6th inning. Cardinals have the bases loaded, no outs. Mari Utsi is due up. Okay, Aiden Dean now the pitcher for the Bobcats. Cardinals have the bases loaded, no outs, top of the 6th inning, 2 runs across so far in the inning, and Mari Utsi to the plate for the Cardinals. Mari's got 1 home run in the game, and that pitch down the pipe for strike number 1 to Mari Utsi. Mari Utsi swings, hits that one to left field. and it's going to drop for a base hit. 1 run scores on the single. So Mariuzzi with a base hit to left field scores a run for the Cardinals. Brings Dason Conley to the plate. Dason swings at the first pitch, hits that one over to shortstop, fields it over to second and over to first, and the Bobcats turn a double play there for 2 outs there in the inning, and that's going to bring Peyton Schroeder to the plate. All right, double play there by the Bobcats, and that brings Peyton Schroeder to the plate. Zach Moorhead in scoring position over on third base and swings at the first pitch, hits that one over to second, fielded, throw over to first for out number 3. Cardinals leave 1. They get 2 hits, 2 runs on 3 walks, no errors, and we're headed to the bottom of the 6th inning. Cardinals now up 11-0. I'm here in just a second. All right, leading it off for the Bobcats here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Jaden Brown, first pitch to Brown is a strike. Michael Betts to close it out here for the Cardinals. And Brown swings at that one, fouls it out of play over on the right side. And that one hit the light pole. It was headed way out there, hit the light pole, bounced back on the field side of the fence in foul territory. And no balls, 1 strike to Jaden Brown. No balls, 2 strikes to Jaden Brown. That pitch by Michael Betts high He came out of his hand wrong. 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Jaden Brown. A 1-2 pitch coming the way from Michael Betts. That one, fastball in the dirt, and evens the count up at 2-2. All right, 2-2 pitch on the way from Michael Betts. And that pitch in for strike 3. All right, the score is 13-0. Cardinals, Bobcats. One out here in the bottom of the 6th. And that pitch in the dirt to the helmet of Drew Bostic. He's taking a beating behind the plate and at the plate tonight. A life of a catcher, though. Here comes the pitch from Michael Betts. Swing and a miss by Austin Courtney. Evens the count at 1-1. Michael Betts kicks, delivers that one low in the zone. Michael doesn't too often leave pitches high in the strike zone. Ground ball pitcher. And he is going to work the bottom half of that zone over. Here comes the pitch again. That one bounces in front of the plate. Michael, that one didn't come out of his hand, right? I can tell he's holding his hand there. Just a little frustrated with himself that it didn't come out of his hand correctly. 3 balls, 1 strike to Austin Courtney. 1 away here, bottom of the 6th inning. That pitch in for a strike. And Courtney again thought that was ball 4. And full count now to Austin Courtney. Michael Betts looks in. He's got his sign. Drew's set up. And that pitch high and away. And Austin Courtney does. All right, time called by the catcher. He's going to go out, talk with Michael, and Austin Courtney aboard for the Bobcats here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Jack Johnson to the plate. Strikeout victim and flew out to right field in the game. 1 away. We're in the bottom of the 6th. Cardinals up 13-0. Michael Betts trying to settle in here, close it out for the Cardinals. And that pitch again bounces in front of the plate. Off the mask of the umpire, Austin Courtney down to second, makes a big turn like he's going to head to third. A 1 ball, no strikes to Jack Johnson. Mariuzzi moves up to third base. Dason Conley. And that's going to be fielded by Peyton Schroeder. Runs over, touches first base for the out. Hard hit ground ball over to first. Fielded by Schroeder for the out. Austin Courtney moves over to third. On the play, and Sam Johnson to the plate. First pitch to Johnson misses the strike zone. 1 ball, no strikes. Michael Betts kicks, delivers. That ball is hit, fielded by Jack Jeffers over at short, across the diamond to Peyton Schroeder for the out. And the Cardinals get out of the inning. No hits, no runs, 1 left. We're going to. That's going to be the end of the game. Cardinals are going to rule the Bobcats here in 6 innings, 13-0. Good job by the Cardinal pitchers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 strikeouts on the night. 4 Cardinal pitchers, no runs allowed. Good game. Cardinals needed that one to build some confidence and get back in this thing headed into the end of the season here and trying to get into the district playoffs here. So good job by the Cardinals tonight. Good outing. 13-0 over the Hope Bobcats. We're going to play a JV game here in just a few minutes. So stay tuned and we'll be back here in just a minute. All right, game number 2 here from Hope. Herman Gill swinging at the first pitch. Back up to the pitcher. He picks it up, throws it over to first for the first out. Quentin Browning at the plate now for the Cardinals. And that pitch outside. Caden Haywood on the mound for Hope here in this second game of the night. And that pitch behind Quentin Browning. 3-0 count. And that pitch again behind Browning, and he goes down to first base with a free trip. Elijah Scantling now the batter for the Cardinals. Quentin Browning down at first base on the walk. And Elijah squares the bunt, pulls it back, strike called, and Quentin Browning slides in head first. Ahead of the tag, really, the ball off the mark, and Browning safe at second base. And he is going to call time, get those leg guards off. And Quentin Browning running and no throw down to third base. And Browning now 90 feet away. All right. 1-1 count to Elijah Scantling. And that pitch, Elijah ducks down. Keep that one from hitting him in the head. And Elijah swings. I believe we've got a 2-1 count. And that one low. Ball goes past the catcher, and Quentin Browning comes in and slides in for the score on the pass ball. So Cardinals get a run across here in the top of the first inning. 3-1. 3-2 count. And that one outside, Elijah Scantling is going to take first base on the walk, brings Aiden Zimmerman to the plate for the Cardinals. And Aiden must have been a hit and run on that one. Aiden reaches down, gets it. He beats it out. Throw past the first baseman. Aiden makes the turn and run coming home. And he slides in. Elijah slides in under the tag. Aiden Zimmerman safe at second base. All right, nice piece of running there by Elijah Scantling. Slide in under the tag, and Cardinals put another run on the board. Aiden Zimmerman out at second base. Matthew Reynolds at the plate, and that pitch down low for ball one. And runner goes, ball gets away from the catcher. Aiden Zimmerman in at third, uncontested. Cardinals take the first game 13-0, and that pitch behind the head of Matthew Reynolds. 3-0 count. And that pitch inside, Matthew Reynolds is going to walk on 4 pitches, puts runners at the corners. Jackson Wilson now your hitter for the Cardinals. 2 runs across for the Redbirds here, top of the first inning. And that pitch outside, Haywood struggling to find the strike zone here in the first inning. And Matthew Reynolds takes off for second, and he's going to be down there, uncontested ball past the catcher to the backstop. And that pitch again over the head of the batter. And Caden Haywood having a tough time out there on the mound. Young pitcher trying to get some innings here in this JV game. 3-0 count, that one high and away, and that's going to walk Jackson Wilson to load the bases. Greg Robinson now to the plate. And that pitch in for a strike. Top of the first inning, Cardinals lead it 2-0. Bases loaded here, 1 out. And that pitch in the dirt evens the count at 1-1. And that pitch hits Greg Robinson in the back, and that's going to walk in the third run of the inning. And here in the JV games, they play 3 runs or 3 outs. And Cardinals score 3. We're going to go to the bottom of the second. Camden Fairview up 2-3-0. 3-0. Reeves. All right. All right, Donnie Reeves leading it off for the Bobcats here, bottom of the first. Jackson Wilson on the mound for the Cardinals. First pitch in for a strike. And Wilson bounces that one out in front of the plate to the backstop. Evens the count up at 1-1. And that pitch high and tight. 2 balls, 1 strike. And that pitch high in the zone runs the count to 3-1. All right, Wilson inside, and Reeves going to go down to first on a walk. Fernando Perez to the plate now for the Bobcats. Wilson peeks over at first base, and the runner's going. Chambers, the throw down. Nice throw, just not in time, right on the money. That pitch outside, count goes to 3-0. And that ball a little inside, and Perez is going to go to first base. J.J. Gully at the plate for the Bobcats. Wilson throws over the head of the second baseman there, Elijah Stanton, and allows runners to advance. That's this one. All right, Jaquel Muldrew at the plate now. He swings through that one. 0-2 count to Muldrew. Runners at second and third for the Bobcats. 1 out. Bottom of the first inning, Camden Fairview leads 3-0 here in second game of the evening. And that ball hits Muldrew in the back, and that's going to load the bases now for Jordan Parrish. All right, bases loaded here. Jackson Wilson on the mound, see if he can work his way out of a pickle here. 2 outs. That pitch to Parrish in for strike one. 2 more like that gets Wilson out of a jam. See what he can do with it here. Wilson kicks, delivers that ball a little low. Nice looking pitch, a little below the knees. A 1-1 count. Jordan Parrish. And swings through that one for strike 2. A 1 ball, 2 strike count, 2 outs, bases loaded, bottom of the first inning. Cardinals trying to get out of this thing unscathed here in the bottom of the first. Jackson Wilson shakes off the first one. He's got what he likes. He's going to kick, deliver, swings through it for the out. And Jackson Wilson, nice job of getting himself out of a bases loaded inning there. All right. I thought it was 3 outs. The Cardinals thought it was 3 outs. The scoreboard was. All right, they're going to load the bases back up. They're going to do this thing the way they should. And Cardinals thought it was 3 outs. I think the Bobcats about half thought it was 3 outs too, because some of them started to walk off the field. Jonathan Fisher, your batter now for the Bobcats. And that pitch inside. All right, Jackson Wilson delivers that one in a little low. 2 balls, no strikes here to number 14, Jonathan Fisher. That pitch in for a strike. Good looking pitch there by Wilson. 2 balls, 1 strike to Jonathan Fisher. Here comes the pitch and swings, pops it up, and just out of play. Jonathan Fisher staying alive there. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, maybe. And swings through that one for strike 3, and that is 3 outs this time. And the Cardinals do get out of a jam indeed. Had the bases loaded, worked their way out of what could have been a big inning for the Bobcats. Headed to the top of the second inning, Cardinals
Right, you see it. Let's go 12.
Good job, Daniel. Way to take it. 3-3-5.
Got two on you. Take your plate. There you go.
They got a guy there.
Hey, make it work something, Bubba. You gotta do something.
I hit a dinger.
That was something said.
Dingers. Dingers.
Zero, 4-1. Jackson, what? Fill it up, kid. 3-4-3.
All right, 7. You see it. Let's go.
3-4-5.
All right. and make something happen.
Check the plate.
Come on, Jackson. Don't lose very high.
There you go.
Are you still, is the mic still on?
Yeah.
Caught 20 power.
Let's go, y'all, Mike, 'cause I'm gonna go. You can go. Wait, Mike, y'all go. You had to let her play.
When do we play them?
Yeah. Y'all been talking all night. Go. Y'all been talking all night. No. Yeah, you have. You've got me in 4. And you've been really 4. Don't know the house. You don't have a clicker. You want me to go? Okay, that's right. Go. You can have all the phone you want to. But the bottom line is, you're still doing terrible. Hey, it doesn't matter. Those are kids. Those are our kids. Those are our kids. Those are our kids. Mr. JB guy. Yeah, I mean that's bush league right there. That's what y'all are. Yeah, Tim, y'all have a good night.
Jimmy! Jimmy!
Go make your sisters umpires, man.
Hopefully they can do better.
You got it. I mean, when the kids
Come on, Fernando.
we could change our game. We could change the pitch. But and he knows that. Or he would react to that. He just kicked out. I know, that's what I'm saying. But how does a kid know what to do? If it's not, there's not legitimate.
Hey, good pitch, Fernando.
Like I said, it would have been here.
bird, sister. Hey, Coach, do you see?
What? Yeah. No, I didn't.
I didn't either. Calm down, Fernando. Hey, 7, you gotta get up or you throw it, son. Oh, yes, sir. Hey. What I get? Dude, I don't even know if to count. Sorry. He's at soccer, I think. He's home. He better come to my office for me.
Hey, Mac, give it a palm. I got you a push on.
Hey, go running. Fernando, to the mid, dude. You got it, 13.
Get in front of the box, Matthew.
What's the call, Blue? Let's count. Jack? Jack, hey. What are you out?
Run, Matthew. Wait. Come on, shoot. Oh, yeah, little shoot. Hit a palm, Greg. Oh, shoot. If he was me, you would have been safe.
Don't look at that board. Don't look at that. I'm asking for the board.
Go, shoot. Oh, yeah, shoot.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I thought I was right. So. You know, all this extra we're going to miss. Jade. If you can't
Hey, Blue, we're going to pinch hit and re-enter our catcher because he was catching a pitch. So we can speed it up. Grab a helmet and go. Grab a helmet and go.
All right, 5. Let's do something. All right, you see it, Clint.
Don't slow your arm down. Be aggressive, Bob. Be aggressive. Hey, Chris. Hey, good tempo out. Hey, don't on the foul ball.
Michael Chowdy. He said no, Bubba.
Chris, hey, arms too slow. Hey, tempo out.
Hey, Pookie. Oh, yeah, Lulu. Chris. Fill it up, kid. Fill it
Hey,
up.
Five, come on.
Let's go. Get tough.
Two on you. Let's play it. Let's go. See it, hit it. There you go. Run it, run it. Fast enough.
I must have come over here and got it in the greens.
What did we lose?
No, one of the kids had their phone charging, and I guess he came out.
Maybe some kid walked over here.
Nobody.
Look at me. I mean,
You ready, Greg? Got him! Go, Greg! Go, Greg!
Come on, Donovan! That's this fast. Fernando, get out of that box till that picture's ready.
Easy to get to. Good job, Greg. Way to drive that ball.
I told him to get out of that box.
Are you hey? Good, coach.
I need two buckets.
Hey, chill out, Greg.
One down, hold it. Good arm tempo here. Increase out front.
He didn't want to wear it.
Whoa. Good pitch.
Battle.
Get on that, JJ.
That's the other track star.
Good job.
Come on, Fortune. All right, JJ, let's go.
Go, Chris, drop the ball. Squeeze the ball. Actually, no one's coming, try. Shift to it. Arms straight out. Keep pushing. Good. Fill it up, fill it up.
Oh, yes! Run, Trackstar, run! Shot, Dave!
Your turn, big 3-4. Might not get a double, but.
Yep, or even turn.
Come back, Chris, just lift it up.
All right, John, your turn.
That's it, Chris, drive it.
Come on, son. Let's go, John, baby.
Not bad, right in that spot, boy. Keep working, Tim, keep working.
Chris, how about you got to go hard? How about
Out. And be a wall, Jackson, be a wall. Keep track, pull right. Good block, Jack. Boy, keep it front. One more right here, Chris. Come get it. Chris, hey, get when we drive slow it out. Hey, look, we gotta get more tempo out front. Come on, Chris.
All right, John. All right, Jordan. How many we scored?
Yeah, let me just. We should be finishing the person, and I'm fixing to go ahead and order. I guess because I can. I just finish it and then go ahead and.
Come on, Chris, good. I like that.
One more, baby.
Right here, scout it out, Chris.
Hey, here go Chris. How about we say how about?
Hot 10. No, 6 contacts. Let's go.
Was it 10? Was it 10? How about? How about?
Hey, baby. Swing it up, Jimmy.